Yo, what's up, guys? So, this is the story on how I swam in Hurricane Katrina. Alright, so I was down in Florida, right? I used to go down to Florida all the time to visit my grandpa and his wife, which would be my step grandma, basically. My dad's dad and my dad's stepmom. So one time we went down, we're down in Florida, and this was on I don't know if I should say what beach it was, but I don't know, Venice Beach. So my dad, right? He's like, all right, Greg. Well, before that, it's like this hurricane was coming. You know what I mean? It was like a tropical storm, Category 1, Category 2. It kept going all over the place, and it was coming right for us. We didn't know what it was gonna be. Next thing you know, my dad's like, I'm going to the beach tomorrow, with or without you. And the storm's like right off the fucking, coast of like Miami and shit. Like, it was gonna hit like basically that day that he wanted to go to the beach. You know what I mean? So he's like, oh, you know what I mean? He said, oh, it's gonna turn. It's gonna go up north. It's not gonna hit us. You know what I mean? It was right off the coast of Florida. So next thing you know, he's like, I'm going to the beach with or without you tomorrow. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to go. You know what I mean? There's a hurricane coming. And so next thing you know, fucking all of a sudden, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to the beach. But, I'm being cautious. This was 2005. So if you think about that, it's 2020 right now. I'm 27 right now. So that was 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Hurricane Katrina. So let's see. 2005. So 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was 12 years old. Wait, right? Am I right? Yeah. I was 12 years old. So I was 12. I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was in the 6th grade. Something like that. Because I remember talking about it with everybody. So fucking next thing you know, we go out there, and we're doing our thing, on the beach. Next thing you know, I notice as I'm like going throughout the water, whether I'm in the water, whether what it is, I'm like, it's like we're walking to the jetties, and I was like noticing that the water was a little like cooler than normal. Now this is off the Gulf of Mexico that I'm at. Okay, I was off the Gulf of Mexico. That's what side I was on. I was on the west side of Florida. So we're at Venice Beach, and I'm like, something's a little weird. There's this water feels cooler than normal. There's like cool spells going on. It felt a little cooler. Sometimes like bath water out there, you know what I mean? It's warm as hell. So next thing you know, we're walking. We go down to the jetties. We go to the jetties, right? So we go to the jetties. As we're going to the jetties, I'm like going in the water a little bit, and I felt like something like pinching at me, like on my feet a little bit. I was like, what is that? So thought it was like crabs or whatever, you know what I mean? Crabs on the bottom of the I'm like, that's just weird. Maybe it's just whatever else. So I'm going to the jetties, right? So now we're at the jetties, all right? Jetties is the rocks all the way at the end of the beach, all right? All the way at the end of the beach, there's jetties, the rocks that, yeah, or the break-off point or whatever. So we're coming back from the jetties now. So I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm going to race you back. Or at least I'm going to race you back to the towel from here. So, like, by that time, I was already in and out of the water a little bit. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to race you. And so I start running. And I get tired of running. And then I start swimming. At this point, there's something a little different, so I sensed it already, and next thing you know, so I run, and I'm like, alright, see where that little playground thing is over there? That's how far my dad is from me, basically, if not further, at least that far. So I get in the water, and I start swimming. And I'm swimming my ass off. I'm like, all right, I see a buoy to my right. I'm swimming for like, good, like, however long it takes. And my dad's like walking all, calm and stuff, chilling, like, all slow. So I look over and I'm swimming for like good 5 minutes, however far he was, however long it took. I look over. I'm swimming for a good 5 minutes. I look over, there's a buoy. I'm like, all right, well, I must have hit a few buoys by now. You know what I mean? Must have hit a few of them. So I look around. I'm like, there ain't no buoys up there. Look back, there ain't no buoys over there. There's only one buoy. So next thing you know, you know what a buoy is. A buoy is, the thing that floats above the water to let boats know and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, I as I'm swimming, I put my feet down. Next thing you know, I start getting swept back. You feel me? Like the current was so strong. Like I started getting swept back. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, crazy. And like, so next thing you know, I get out the water. Now, me and my dad go back to the towel at the beach. Now, by this time, there was like, the waves start getting rough. The waves are starting to get rough now. And this is the Gulf of Mexico. There's no waves on the Gulf of Mexico unless there's like a storm off the coast. Alright? I'm shivering as I'm talking to you guys because I'm outside. But, so, next thing you know, less and less people were on the beach. There was barely any anyway because there was a hurricane coming, basically, tropical storm, whatever you want to call it. Hurricane Katrina when it was off the coast. Category 1, 2, tropical storm, whatever. Next thing you know, bro, these waves are getting wild. Me and my dad start wrestling. We start wrestling in the waves. The waves are starting to crash down now. Now, like, we're in the water kind of, and these waves are crashing down on us. Now, these are 10, 15-foot waves that are coming down on us right now that fucking we're just getting pounded with on shore. Next thing you know, I'm like, yo, Dad, that's it. Fucking next thing you know, he starts getting taken out. He's getting taken out. He's getting taken out by the waves, and fucking now he's in the ocean. He's in the fucking ocean right now. So, you see that tree right there? That's about how far he was offshore. You know what I mean? That's kind of... That tree? Hold up. How do I do it? That tree. Where I'm pointing at. Now, he's kind of far offshore. So he's coming in. By that time, I get the lifeguard, and I'm like, yo, my dad is out there. Next thing you know, he's coming in. He's like around, like, he's just around this area. He's like but he's like, he's off, he's like, he got taken out, and he's trying to come back, and he can't come back in. You feel me? So I called the lifeguard over, and fucking, you know, next thing you know, all of a sudden, I see fins surrounding him, okay? This is a true story. It's a true story. You could ask my dad, you could ask anybody that knew about when I went down there. Next thing you know, he gets surrounded by fins, okay? He gets surrounded by fins. Now there's like 3-4 fins around him, okay, just surrounding him. And I'm like, yo, lifeguard. All right. So my dad's out there, and I'm trying not to cause a panic for anybody else on the beach. And I'm like, I think there might be sharks. So next thing you know, my dad's out there. I'm like, lifeguard, you know, go save my dad. And I think it might be sharks. So all of a sudden, fucking, he's out there. He's like right there. He's like right there, you feel me? And he's surrounded by fins. Surrounded by fins, right? I'm like, oh my God, like, come on, Dad. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, surrounded by fins, bro. Like 3, 4, 5 fins surrounding him. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Next thing you know, fucking, he started coming back in. He came back in. I think there were dolphins that surrounded him. We're pretty sure it was dolphins, you feel me? They, like, saved him almost. And the lifeguards were about to go out there, and they went out there a little bit almost. But, so, swear to God. So, the fins, were probably dolphins, basically dolphins. And I actually have a picture of a dolphin jumping up in the background of one of the, my dad used to have disposable cameras, and there's a picture of a dolphin jumping up in the background of a picture that he took of me off the jetties one time. But that was a different time. But the time with that, so he came back in. Untouched. He was probably tired and fucking shooken up because of what just happened. But yeah. And he was dumb for swimming against the current too. You gotta swim with the current. He was going against the current. I could have told him, don't do that. You know what I mean? But hey, whatever he did, you know, whatever happened, you know, worked for the most part. So it was wild. It was wild. Like I said, 10, 15 foot waves were crashing down on us at one point. And he got taken out by that shit. And he fucking, it was crazy, man. It was fucking wild. So, next thing you know, after all that, all you see in the sky was the whole freaking front. The whole freaking front of Hurricane Katrina. The hurricane. You just see nothing else in the sky. You see how it's all blue sky? All you see is the hurricane, like, coming in. You just see the big cloud line of Hurricane Katrina. It was the most wildest thing I've ever witnessed. So that's the story of, oh yeah, by the way, so after all that, so next thing you know, we go home and shit. I forget, you know, it was what it was. And you know what, I think it started raining. We were at the bus stop and it started raining or whatever. It was like really coming down, whatever, I'm not sure. But once it goes over, whatever it was like a tropical storm, category 1 going over us. Not that bad. But then I'm not sure how bad it was, honestly. Like, I remember there was some really bad storms before in Florida, and I thought, like, twisters were happening and shit. Like, shit gets crazy down there sometimes. That might have been the time with Hurricane Katrina, but I can't remember. But, 'cause because I remember mad fucking lightning and like fucking crazy fucking shit. Like, I thought tornadoes were happening. I don't know if that was Hurricane Katrina, but next thing you know, so when that's all over and done with, basically, when we go on our flight, when we get on our flight to go back to New Jersey, basically, Hurricane Katrina was off the coast of the Gulf now, and it was turning into a Category 2, Category 3, and it was strengthening, and we were afraid it was going to turn back around and come back towards us, or like up the coast or something, and fuck up our flight. So fucking we're on the runway, and we're like, fuck, yo, this is crazy. Like, it's raining and shit now. Like, it wasn't raining before that. This is when we this was like, however many days, whatever it was later, and we're on the runway, and it starts raining, you know what I mean, and like it started like, whatever it was, and then it started raining a little more, but yeah, so it was a Category 2, Category 3, and kept strengthening. So we got off. We took off in the runway, and we got home safely. Hurricane Katrina was a Category 5 hurricane when it hit Louisiana. One of the worst disasters ever to happen, hurricane-wise. Yeah, that's my story on Hurricane Katrina and how me and my dad were in it in Florida. And yeah, so don't be stupid. Don't do stupid shit, because sometimes you ain't that lucky to where you come back to shore or something like that, you know what I mean? My dad got lucky. Angels was watching over him, or some dolphins. And yeah, man. So alright, man, y'all take it easy. That's my story on Hurricane Katrina, how I was in it, how I swam in it in Florida. Alright, love y'all. God loves y'all. Later. Peace.